hoping to make an effort to get better and better. But I really like this team. You know, the loyalty that this core got to one another, to this project, is really admirable. So every time I cast them, I get really excited.
It is nice to see teams just sticking with their gut, and instead of, you know, something's not quite working, just switch a player out. Sticking with it and trusting that you can grow as a team, I like it. But we've got to see whether that does them any favors here, and it is super fast over towards this A side.
I like this, a classic rush to try and overwhelm. So far, though, this hold is pretty solid. Alright, we got a double kill even here with another one to make numbers even more dire for Nevermore. The bomb is also dropped in the midst of the site, and you can't quite get it going. I like the discipline there as well. And Teamwork Makes the Dream Right, that was really nicely done by Zero Tenacity. Really relying on one another there in that horde.
It is indeed, and to not get overwhelmed by the rush, which honestly, you know, pistols, sometimes you expect a team to come in hot and spicy. You don't often expect them in main in the first 5 seconds, though. So, very well done here. Straight into a match pause, though. I'll be honest with you, we got away pretty scot-free over in our first series, so it was bound to happen. We were long overdue a tech pause, so we'll sit here and wait. Good to get it out of the way in the second round, though, before the second round. Sort any problems out, means we can get the game and hopefully the series going pretty smoothly. But yeah, there's not necessarily too much to talk about from that pistol, unfortunately. So we'll see. We're not even going to see the buy up particularly here, are we? We're kind of just stuck in limbo for now. But I like that there are Galils being purchased. They didn't get the bomb down, so this is a confident and bold move.
It is.
And a decoy.
Yeah, and don't underestimate decoy. We were talking about it earlier.
Decoy with the Galil, maybe you trick them into thinking that you've bought more than you have.
That definitely could be the case.
That's what I'm thinking. You get them on edge that actually it's going to be Mac 10s and, you know, Deagles that you're up against, because you hear like 2 Galils potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows? We'll find out soon. Anubis. It's grown on me. You know what? I'll say it. It's grown on me.
Were you not a fan at the start?
I liked it at the start because people didn't like it at the start. And then... and then I kind of got... I'll live with you. I kind of got bored of seeing it so much because it became like a staple map. Like, it was almost every single series. I like that we've got chickens. More maps need chickens. It's a dying breed in the map pool. So, you know... I don't know. It's grown on me in the same way that I think Mirage has, is that it's nice when you see teams bringing something new and flashy out. It doesn't happen all of the time, but also, only map that's T-sided. So, it's
Very
unique,
true.
it's special, it's not like other maps.
Then again, earlier today... No, this is not
I was so ready to be called out here for a really awful take.
No, but earlier today, you know, we did see teams also do really well on CT. Like, occasionally, you can flip it around, but it depends a bit on a team's play style.
I'm gonna raise you a question here. Now that we've seen a couple of weeks of it, the FAMAS. Are we liking that the FAMAS is sort of coming back a little bit? Because I know people are still a little bit hesitant to buy it.
I mean,
but
yeah,
how do
obviously.
We feel? Just the general consensus.
I never was like a very bad FAMAS hater. Ultimately, you know, I preferred other guns, but it wasn't like, FAMAS.
You're an apologist. You and I were the same here. I think we were like, it still exists. It's nice to see.
Yeah. It was kind of like it exists territory. It's not like get this into the trash bin kind of territory. But
it's like my family, you know. It's nice when I don't have to see them.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. But you know, I do appreciate that they're trying to put effort into making, you know, variety or diversity, I should say, like more of a thing. You know, the same with like the price leveling of the M4s, trying to sort of spice things up there. Yeah, I can see it sort of keeping the game fresh and new.
I like it. Have you ever considered going to watch an IEM Dallas in person?
It's
a long way, I know, like, it's a long way, but...
Like, I wish my wallet wouldn't cry if I were to do that.
It's honestly, the crowds were amazing, because I was over there to watch, it was the ESL Impact season...
Yeah.
5 finals. It was 5, yeah, it was 5. And they were right next to each other, so I was just going between them. Also, it was the whole of the DreamHack convention as well. So but it was, honestly, the crowd was amazing. So I'm excited. The merch was fire as well. I'm really sad that the IEM Dallas t-shirts in my size ran out pretty quickly, so I have an IEM Dallas dress. But
the classic.
So it was sad that I need to go back to one, because when I did Dallas last year, I was not of legal drinking age. Which I didn't get the full NA immersive experience, I think, you know. That'd be like going to IEM Melbourne and not, you know. So I think I've got to go to another one. I mean, I don't... I say that I don't know if I'd ever do one. I absolutely know that I would cave to peer pressure so quickly and do it. I'm a simple person. But I think that's you and I's next plan, is it, Villas? You know, we gotta head over to Dallas at some point. Have a little nosy. Yeah. See also, the sights.
Getting back on the topic of train.
Oh,
so
God,
are
yes,
you?
Okay.
No, but like, are you a fan of like the changes they made to train, or like old train better?
This is a difficult one because it's been a while since old train, right?
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to figure out what of it was nostalgia and memories, because I loved Old Train. I loved playing on Train. But I don't know, like, how much... Because I'll be honest with you, back when I was playing Train, I was not anywhere near as involved in counter. I was playing it very, very casually. And so I don't know if my perspective of it is realistic. But I will say I am so sad that we will never get to see the likes of Monazy playing Tier 1 from Heaven. Because I think that would have gone so hard. Just Monazy, like, flipping the AWP out everywhere, killing everything in sight. I think it would have been awesome. But, yeah, unfortunately, it's not to be. But I don't know.
No.
What about you? You
Yeah, for me, it's... I'm not sure if it is a good change or a bad change for me. I need to see more footage, collect more data, I think. But like the map feels like, you know, smaller. And it's a bit more cramped than what I'm used to. Like A side and everything. Yeah,
just making max cramped is just is a match
very
made in
true.
heaven.
It's, you know, the same thing happened with Inferno, and a lot of people didn't like that, and I can definitely see people like being a bit hesitant. I kind of enjoy the change they've had with Pop Dog, because like it's sort of like easier to work around. The first time I got super confused because I was like, where's the ladder? How do I get down? And, like the sort of the levels are like it messes with your like perception of how the map works a bit. Yeah, it was a bit confusing at first, but I kind of enjoy it now that I've played it a couple more times. Yeah, and okay, Heaven is gone. I think Ivy might benefit a bit from it being a bit more cramped, because that always felt like a bit of a useless part of the map. And now like for rotations and stuff like that, it's a bit easier to work around. Though we'll have to say, like, it was notorious for being extremely city-sided, and I think maybe with these changes a bit more 50-50.
It's always a good thing, isn't it? We like 50. We don't like landslide sites, I don't think, because whilst it makes for interesting comebacks, it's just terrifying just going into a map being like, yeah, we're likely to be, you know, 7 rounds down at the half, but it's okay. But it is what it is. As you said, I think a lot of this is we need to give it a little bit more time, because we're still on the scale of things, still fairly recent on all of this.
Yeah.
I've not seen some of these flybys. I'll be honest with you, I've not really looked at the hieroglyphics on Anubis much before.
Yeah, I wish I could read them. Someone in the chat, help out.
I'll be honest, if there is someone watching this that is fluent in hieroglyphics, I don't know what I'll do. I'll be very impressed, that's for sure, but I don't know how I'll respond.
I remember like back in school, we used to try and decipher them and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, most of them are pretty literal.
Oh yeah,
All
yeah.
refer to like gods and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like how incorrect the boats are. Those boats would likely not sail very well.
No, that's very true. But hey, it's all about aesthetic.
It is, isn't it? It's a very pretty map. I'll give it that.
It's honestly like aesthetic wise, you know, for me nothing really gets above Inferno because that's just like I don't know.
The fact that you can now play Baby Shark on the Inferno bells.
Oh, with the bells.
And the fact that it was Gamer Legion, wasn't it? In a tier 1 event. It's difficult. I will never forgive what they did to my boy Inferno when CS2 hit and made it all claustrophobic, because it went from one of the most played maps to one of the least played maps, and I mean, difficult times, but I think we might be back. I was told that there was some internet issues, so hopefully those have been fixed. Enough of us yapping, it's time to get back into this. As you can remember, Nevermore unfortunately lost the pistol. They've decided not to stick with the Galil and Decoy. Just roll with the pistols for this one. Zero Tenacity this time. It's just going to be about damage control.
Yeah, in this case, I might honestly be a bit more of a fan of this approach instead of throwing away a lot of cash, having a bit of a weird economy situation. So, better try and see how much damage you can do, how many weapons you potentially could be taken away. It's actually Namana here, just with dualies in hand. I think might have bought for a teammate, but has some Kevlar, has some util. Probably the one to gain a bit of information. Has made contact now. Will throw his smoke. Just a bit of further delay. Maybe use the edge of the smoke here. Do a bit of damage so far. I mean, a couple chips left to right. Ooh, the reload timing has back up. And so far, so good. Oh, there's an awkward team kill in the mix as well. Not that I think Nevermore really had a shot there over towards mid, but those things certainly don't help.
No, it does not. It has been a bit of a day for team kills for us, but yeah, unfortunate, just sort of a line up there, especially when it's all getting very hectic and all the pistols are firing. It just happens in the heat at the moment. But this time, got the AKs out, fair bit of utility, missing a couple of bits on people, but I really don't think that's going to have too major of an impact. And for Zero Tenacity, throwing the smoke out early this time, not playing for as much info, not playing for the delay, doesn't see anything in mid. It's a little bit of a spray just to ward them off. Simkir is trying to find something, just getting a bit of damage on anyone that's in the corner. We know that there's nobody there, but it's good to see the due diligence being done, and Donnie pushing through the smoke. It's going to be a bit messy.
Alright, straight going for that bomb plant. And with the smokes that are up, they are actually able to escape. And while I say that, move is actually found. And immediately, eyes are going to be up towards water, trying to get the kills going. Not quite here for Zero Tenacity. It's just Namana, front man of the squad. Good for 1 kill. Neither is very low. We'll switch here to a weapon to try and get rid of him, but it's not going to happen. Beautiful headshot coming through. And that's the first round on the board for Nevermore.
It is indeed. I was a little bit worried. They were so hasty to plant the bomb, even when sight wasn't really fully clear there. Actually works out in their favour as they managed to clear off everybody and all reinforcements too far away to really contest that. Money is going to be in a little bit of a weird spot. Not enough rounds consecutively to really build anything here. So we're seeing a couple of weapons juggled between people. Picked up, dropped again. And this time Nevermore really looking to try clear up this gap and establish an early lead. Mana, there's the smoke coming out. Single-handedly just doing so much to shut down this entire portion of the map, and it's all been done with a 5-7. Way out in the open, but loads of support here. I like the aggressive push. Not giving them an inch to work with over towards this B side. It's the A players that maybe need to be a little bit nervous. And as those smokes fade in mid, potentially more danger to come. Now gearing up for a B hit. We've got the bomb available. Util's going to be thrown. There's a lot of flashes, and Simka is about to have a bad time, deciding to try get ahead of this, actually. Unfortunately, Smoke of Their Own is just going to block Nevermore from really doing anything just yet, and Simka's got to find this kill.
Not quite. Donnie is the one to grab that one. There is at least a straight right back. And that things get quite tough with all these smokes up on the site. Soon they will fade. But it will give them just enough time to plan. Maybe it's even escape or reposition. Still though, player advantage here for Zero Tenacity now. Jackass has been found through that smoke. Trying to get and hopefully find a couple more. Only thing is, was made difficult for just a split second, but the numbers game is working in Zero Tenacity's favor, and with that, they will recover. They will bounce back after that round loss and immediately make things very difficult now, economy-wise, for Nevermore.
Yeah, it's a bit all over the place. Some players can buy, some can't. So Jackass maybe picks up a hero weapon here, but honestly, the way that I have been gritting my teeth watching these plants, where it's like somebody is less than a meter away and they just go for it. And I really like it. It's really confident, it's really ballsy, but it's got me on the edge of my seat. Unfortunately, it's the post plants that they've been struggling with a little bit here. Timeout being called fairly early on to discuss possibly, as you said, the weird economic situation. Possibly why they couldn't convert that round there. Any weaknesses that they might have spotted. Any hunches they may have that they can exploit. There we go, yeah, Jackass going for the Hero Mac 10, if you can call it that. And actually a lot of util being bought up here.
I guess they can afford it, you know, trying to stay around that 2k mark.
2k mark, yeah. Save. Buy for next.
And the util could make a difference. Already I see a couple pieces being thrown here in towards B, which ultimately has been the more favorable side. So maybe trying to dilute their opponent's utility a little bit.
Yeah, stop any early B main pushes as well that have been catching them off guard and losing them that player advantage early on. H shoots apart the smoke, they're going to run on through, but they're not even allowed that as Simka gets both from behind.
Oh, it's just hodix now left with a Glock in hand, and it's a very awkward fight. And with that, Zero Tenacity add another one to the list. Now, money is back on board for Nevermore. And so far, we've seen a lot of really fast-paced pushes, supportive smokes to try and isolate a couple fights. And often, I feel like Nevermore has the objective to just go for a bomb plant and pray they can hold it post-plant. Which, to be fair, you know, it's a starting point. Earlier today, we saw how difficult it is sometimes on this map to get the bomb plants going.
It does feel sometimes like a little bit of a frantic scramble. They're playing as a pack here. They've got no eyes anywhere else on the map, so it is all or nothing over towards A right now. That smoke's gonna slow them down. HE grenade, not gonna go deep enough to do any real damage. Move gonna get tickled by it. 7 HP is not gonna be the world of difference. With the ball, has to step up. Shot, unfortunately, Smoke blossoming just a second too late, but his teammates have his back. Fortunately, Jackass getting two, but Monster does eventually find a gap to work with here. The HP is low for him. Player advantage. They know that they like to go for these plants even when the odds are not favorable, and they try to get a peek on it. Not gonna work. Naturally, they've managed to whittle down the numbers, but alas, all for naught. The peaks pop out. And Zero Tenacity with another. Well, if they can find the bomb.
Yeah.
Plenty of time for it.
Again here, I do think this was a big hands down to the teamwork. Zero Tenacity there. Staying calm, trying to peek together. Ultimately, you know, they had the info of the two players sort of being in the back of the site. Not having a lot of util to work with, so trying to put pressure on them as a unit really worked. And again, sends Nevermore back to the drawing board, back to pistols. twice the Mech 10 this time. So limited amount of resources, and it looks like, yet again on my map, it looks like they are going in as a unit, as one big conga line down in towards A main, and Chofok here, the one to deal with that early aggression. So far, alive and kicking still. Ooh, not quite. But did land a good couple of shots with the pistol to make that HP a little less. Now it's just Jackassed here. One man standing, Tech 9 in hand, praying to the gods.
Yeah, and even they might not save you. That bomb is wide out in the open, and they've got eyes everywhere, shot through the wall, and they're just playing with their food here. And there it is. The final kill. The nade would have done it as well. Just make sure. Gotta double tap, remember. Gotta make sure that they're definitely down. But yeah, beautiful stuff coming out here from Zero Tenacity. Storming away with the CT side already. And so it's going to need to be pretty interesting from Nevermore. I'd love to see them split up a little bit more. As you said, they're conga lining into sight and being taken down one by one. So, switch it up. And actually, I think that's might be what we're getting to see here. There's a little bit more variation, at least. First kill going Zero Tenacity's way, and now they can just afford to pull their resources over towards that B site. Not heard anything this fight. Over towards main. Naita, if he can get a pick here, it opens up a couple of possibilities for his team. That is a big if. Both of these players actually just happy to sit on their side. This is going to be a cheeky peek, and the flashbang unfortunately backfires, blinds his own teammate, and that's going to be a problem. AVN. Going for one, go for a little bit more. They line up a little bit, so much damage. Switch the weapon so we can just keep firing. Make it 3. And now just Naita left. We talked about it. He's found an empty site, but unfortunately all of his teammates in the bomb have gone down on the flip side.
Wow. That was a lovely free kick from Athan in towards middle. The first two were already very nice, but the thought to immediately switch to that weapon on the ground. Try to finish off that third. Being able to do so, magical. And now just need to AK in hand, going for the long way around. Maybe just for a save. Trying to at least have an AK. On the other hand, you are not going to build a lot of cash if you're going to stay alive. Ooh. Goes for the fight. Not quite. Crouch will do it. Simcoe with the final blow. So far, Zero Tenacity might have slip up along the road, but pretty clean track record thus far, meaning that Nevermore will have to step it up a notch. With that, a technical timer being called here, try to figure out what's going wrong, how they can fix it, because this is their map pick after all, plus they are starting on T side.
Yep. It is a difficult one here. And they're burning through the timeouts. Like, I'm very... It's a difficult one. But yeah, I think it's interesting that Zero Tenacity chose to start CT side. I think it's not something you see very often. And it is technically, you know, T-sided map. But I like seeing it occasionally switch it up. Clearly, game plan in mind here. And Nevermore's uncomfortable. So absolutely the right call to be making here. It's a messy buy, all of the players making sure they've got enough money for next. And Nemana just single-handedly demon in mid.
What a need. Oof, bit of chip damage. Thought maybe it could be timed more perfectly, but doesn't matter. Orb is here to support as well. And again, it is up against pistols.
I think it's quite interesting. Zero Tenacity has just been leaving sort of A main alone. They've been throwing the smoke out, but just trusting that there's not really been much effort there since that first pistol round and that rush. And now you can see that moving the pieces over. They always had 3 here. Molotov, I think, just clipped the edge of the wall, but it doesn't really matter. Charging on through, they get 2, but unfortunately not quite able to pull the gun back out in time to find another. And now hodix has the chance to plant. a whole site worth of smokes to hide behind, and Smoke and Mirage could play some tricks on the mind here. Gonna need to win this fight outright, though. Does indeed find the AWP, but location now known. Checking for another, so they know they have to be coming from back site here.
Time will continue to tick. Now there is a kit. Oh, and that smoke might make things a bit difficult, but the lineup is perfect. Oh, too eager to get on that defuse will cost them. Nevermore that will find their second round. Though again, not quite out of the woods just yet. They have a little bit more making up to do, but it's a start.
Yeah, it's certainly a difficult one. You know the player is in connector. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you try get the smoke in a position that you can defuse instead of, you know, trying to ninja it. But heat at the moment, these things happen. You let a round slip and, you know, even that 7-2, they're going to be happy with themselves. hodix now on the AWP, spots a leg, chooses to hold his fire though, not give away anything. No missed shots that they can punish, and actually has given his teammate all the space he needs to work with. Throw that Molotov deep and get themselves into connector. Strong position to be in, because now this site's feeling a little bit closer. The walls are closing in. Kill goes each way. Actually make that 2 for Donny. Nice flash. Actually, they're not really going to move on it. They are choosing to head over towards A. And there's this lovely sort of flank that's been going on here, and they're not going to be expecting this, I don't think. Just missed the timing, though. Look in the wrong direction, and Donny being so delayed on over has actually saved them. And the choice to switch up the map, the site location has been made. Brought Monster, they are just going to try run him on down here, use numbers. We've got more bodies than you do bullets. It almost goes awry, but Jackass does manage to follow up on the kill there. And now empty bomb site, loads of time to work with.
Jovo did get the kill there on the flank, but ultimately it will reveal his position with that and nade on top of him. Not making this a very favourable situation. Jackass behind the pillar here. Again, knowing he is to come around the corner. Little pre-fire. Gonna sneak him out. Oh, but get spotted. And this is looking a lot more like it. Nevermore with a third now. And instead, Tenacity wanting to keep the damage at a minimum and will call for a tactical timeout themselves.
Definitely a good place to have this. You've got 2 more rounds left. You really don't want to be giving them 7-5 after, you know, you had a 6-round lead. So, discussion to be had about how they go forward. Money in an uncomfortable place for this one. So, probably a 4th round conceded, but it's all about that final round afterwards. And just setting yourself up for the best position possible going on to that T side. Little conversation to be had. Get the coach on call. Actually, the 2 nades. I'm curious to see who is likely to be on the receiving end of these. Heading mid, okay. Oh, mid to A. 1 gone. Lovely damage done, and AVN's managed to find a deagle shot as well. And this is certainly one of the eco rounds. The nade damage softening them up and winning the opening duel uncontested, untraded.
That's
and
a
they
bit
know that
scary.
I was going to say, they know that Connector has been this huge linchpin. This is where they've been hemorrhaging rounds and control. So going aggressive. They're not able to find the trade, actually. And Niter gets 3. It all falls apart. Eventually a trade is found, but it's way too little too late. And it's not even a picked up weapon just yet. And Muv, that little bit of a delay as well is going to catch them off guard.
Oh no, the timing of that. Very awkward, hoping to find that AK. But gets spotted by Muv there. Like, initially, I really liked that water push. You know, they're sending a player with just a bare USP to try and go and bait. So that hopefully the Deagle can do the damage. But unfortunately, the spam didn't quite work out. So, ideas being there. That's nice. Actually, they haven't all picked up. So far, so good. Simka's still alive and kicking. Ultimately, his position now revealed, so he needs to reposition in order to stay safe. Which looks like I think he might be able to do.
Yeah. It's a difficult one because they don't really have the finances to go hunting for this, but you know that AWP was dropped in somewhere that you have had no eyes for ages and has been free game for the whole round. So you know that AWP, it's likely in enemy hands. You just don't really have anything you can do about it. You send one player to go hunting in spawn, but once you lose that, that's about all you can commit. So, nice damage control here from Zero Tenacity, but Nevermore, they're making it competitive, they're bringing it back. We talked about that timeout, and it was all things considered not the worst eco round in the world. But now, one final chance to try give themselves an edge in that second half. And straight to Connector. Actually, nope. Smoke in their face, straight away from Connector.
Need to make the smoke disappear, followed by a counter smoke. But there's a lot of information, a lot of noise being made, so with that information gained, looked like a bit of team damage there for Nevermore, and with that the numbers getting more and more dire. Hoping to try and set foot upon this side with the bomb being dropped there, but it gets more difficult by the second. A re-smoke there as well. And it's just hodix now with an AWP in his hand.
That re-smoke was timed to perfection because there was a little bit of a gap over the top that it was like, ooh, someone might walk into the crosshair, but no. And now it's just a reposition. You can't even save this round, so you've just got to back away. In 45 seconds, that bomb is lost, so what do you even do here? You go pick up your 2 spare flashes, okay. That's a good sort of ace up the sleeve to have in a clutch situation. But yeah, everyone just holding their positions. They know it's an AWP. They're not going to want to peek anything here. They have the bomb down. This round is in the bag.
Going to just rush through. First kill is a fact, but again, time is of the essence. You have to get the kills, and you can see the panic in their eyes. It is Zero Tenacity winning at this half, 8-4.
Welcome back, wonderful people. They managed to secure 3 more to make this at least a competitive half, but a pistol round would be a nice way to kick this off. Zero Tenacity with an equally as aggressive pistol round to kick this off, and Muv has no line of sight. hodix trying to find something, but is also greeted by nothing but smokes, and that bomb goes down quickly.
Yeah, again, fast-paced stuff going down on this map, and this being a 5-on-5 is actually a bit awkward, though there is a kit in hand for Nevermore. So don't count them out just yet. They're going to be boosted up on the side, having very uncomfortable positions, and immediately going to be going for that defuse, which I think is going to be coming through. Not enough firepower, even though it rains yellow now on the kill feed. It's not going to be enough to stop that round from going to Nevermore.
That is a rough one. For both teams, really, you know, they brilliant from Nevermore to lock them out of the site so quickly after the plant there. Within seconds, the smokes came through. They'd forced them into main. They had eyes on connector as well. You get that opening pick, and suddenly it all starts to spiral a little bit. You just hop straight on the defuse, knowing that there is absolutely no line of sight to clearly find that bomb. And yeah, on the downside, though, they lost all of the players. They've not really lost anything on pistol round there, but it still, you know, hurts a little bit to the sort of mental. But bomb plant allows Zero Tenacity to come into this with a bit more firepower as well, but they're not showing their hand just yet. Choosing to play a little bit more passively and maybe get the spring on them. A little bit of a poke and a prod from Kurofo over towards A. Not spotted anything yet. Knights are gonna exchange smokes there.
Going in very, very slowly. Making sure we're not going to get pushed from behind. Another lining everything up. The waterfall. Though there's counter utility here to at least stall those coming through from water. And again, I like that you can see there's communication there for the main players to hold off as well. Throw in extra pieces of util, and now they can swarm in together to make 10s doing their jobs. Trying to hunt every single player down. And once it's safe, plant goes down as well. And, well, just one more player left standing. And that's, honestly, how you bounce back. That's a really, really solid round coming through from Zero Tenacity. Very calculated.
And it is a damning round for the CT economy as well. Losing that conversion round after buying up. Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to experience it as well. So Jackass holding on to maybe potentially the one weapon that they'll be using. The lifeboat in the infinite and vast ocean clinging dilly. Just, it's going to be rough. That's it. I'm overhyping it a little bit there, but yeah. This FAMAS is going to be the front runner here. And unfortunately, this sets them up for just a rough start to this half money-wise, which the long-term impact of this will be felt for the next couple of rounds, especially if they can't start getting rounds on the board. And even if they do, Zero Tenacity, 9 already, 1 away from double digits, and after that, it is a hop, skip, and a jump over to train. Not early util. I like that they're going, hopefully trying to punish anybody that wanted to go for that B main peak. Unfortunately, NEVERMORE playing a little bit more passively on this one. Alright, so smoke comes out, and he is wanting to have a look anyway. And there's a lot of people waiting here. That flash for the peak is going to be good. Nothing comes of it, though. They've already backed away.
Again, they slow things down in the middle of the round. Keep Nevermore guessing. And again, bit of util being dumped here up on that B-bomb side, but don't quite know yet if it's going to be a repeat or not. But I do see rotations coming on through with Nita abandoning that A-bomb site. Ooh. hodix lucky there having to be alive. Was forced to go back, still standing behind pillar, and at the same time the rest of the team wants to maybe get ahead of the situation, goes for a peek, but it might become deadly. Ooh, bit of a pre-fire, not quite hitting just yet, but the flash is perfect. It works for both players up on the site. And immediately they're stuck behind smokes. They have zero chance of entering. Well, a lucky kill for the smoke might help, but it's still a 4 against 2, no kit. And honestly, with such an investment, this is just not really worth going for.
No, there might be a little clash between Donnie, sorry, and yeah, difficult one there. Matter of timing, unfortunately, back turn, but they're gonna go try to take this FAMAS as well. The nade isn't quite gonna do the damage they want. The FAMAS will, however, and there will be no survivors, no guns saved into the next round, and this is just Zero Tenacity making the money situation hurt. This is death by 1,000 paper cuts in the finance department. So, Nevermore, this round, again, they're just gonna have to stomach it. They've got a flash, but realistically, there's not much more they're gonna want to put into this. And this one flash has got to carry the weight of the world. They are running into the gamble stack, but the nade is perfect.
Hoping the flash could maybe do enough, but again, firepower simply too strong. All getting mowed down. Zero Tenacity marching slowly but surely towards that finish line here.
Yeah, and the money as well. A sequence of rounds is going to be needed here, that's for sure, and it's going to have to be impressively done if Nevermore want to come back into this. It's not over till it's over. I don't want to curse it and say that this is done and dusted, but Zero Tenacity, they've set everything up perfectly here. Their choice to start on CT side, now we're starting to see it come into play and fruition. There's the decoy. I'm glad that we actually did get to see it this time. Now waiting and holding, hoping that Nevermore are going to peek, and they are. It is through the smoke. A little bit of covering fire just about misses. Niter thinking maybe he's going to get the better of them once the smoke fades. Actually decides the smarter thing, just back away, stay with your team. Don't give them any freebie kills.
Very important kill here, you know. Surely you can get the first, but two-player advantage is actually very, very massive, and they're not letting it all go to waste. Locking it in now, really making things difficult for Zero Tenacity to march onto 12. Bomb dropped as well, though I'm not too sure if they spotted that just quite yet. But 1v5.
Greater things have been done, but unfortunately I don't think so, especially with this drop down. They're gonna know the frag's good, but not low enough for it to kill. Although 1 HP left at the end, it would have been a kill from the grave either way, but good stuff. Nevermore still got a little bit of fight in them, and they are going to need to keep that spark alive. Zero Tenacity immediately the buy right back into it as well, and yeah, Kyofa's is not amazingly well off in the finance department, but the rest of the team, they are content for now. But Monster is not going to have to forgo that warp anytime soon. And I think it's been an interesting one. Connector was such a linchpin for Nevermore on their T side, and they're trying to put the attention here as well, and it's not quite working in the same way. HE grenade's gonna be nice. Not quite gonna go deep enough to have any real effect, however, and now just dancing around this pillar. Does have backup from his teammates. Quite a lot of backup, to be fair with you. There's a fight going on over towards A main, and maybe if Zero Tenacity wait just a little bit longer and try to draw the attention away, but no, they are fighting for Connector, and unfortunately they are losing. Keep lining them up. There is eventually a trade, and on the other side of the map, the equalizing kills do come through. Now a decision has to be made. That bomb is heading over towards A, but they still haven't managed to get themselves onto site.
Oof, well, that could grant them the opportunity got rid of that Bianca and immediately gonna be making a run for it. Though the bomb's still not quite there just yet. So maybe, just maybe enough time for that rotation, but Muv also falls. And now things are getting from bad to worse. Jackass here maybe honestly should try and hang on to his weapon. We'll switch to the AK. Not really worth going for this. I think having an AK in the next round is probably worth more. The rest can then buy around it. But it's going to be a very uphill battle here on their map pick when Zero Tenacity hit 12. Twice the scoreline of Nevermore themselves.
Yeah, this is... They're going to need to dig deep if they want to see this map through, Nevermore. Especially as their own map pick. And we talked about this coming on to train. This was, in our mind, kind of a must-win. Because so far, in officials, Zero Tenacity, I'll get it right eventually, they've played it 4 times and they've won every single time. And I'll level with you, most of them been very convincing wins as well. Nevermore, we talked about this. We don't know a whole lot about them. Potentially, this is the world's best trained team. And we don't know. But also, we don't know, and we have to assume that this is going to be a map that they might not be as strong on. They've not played it so far today. They've not played it thus far in this tournament. So, yeah, it either has to be an amazing comeback, or they have to have one hell of a playbook for train. Or alternatively, unfortunately, their IEM Dallas run, it looks like it may be closing.
That's pretty much a free opportunity right there. Flashbangs immediately to try and stop them from coming through. Muff will find a kill at least. But is it going to be enough to keep them from getting onto that site? Looks like the bomb is retreating. Maybe...
They've already sent Muff over to have a look as well. Try get ahead of this potential rotate. I do like that they're holding someone back, though, trying to punish in case they do choose to rotate behind them. Love here, smoke for connector, and unfortunately, last piece of wide area space denial utility is going to be expended on the one place that they are not. 2 flashes can buy the time potentially to get Jackassed onto site, but the smoke's coming through. It's starting to make it harder and harder, and it has to be now. Molotov directly onto his face, forces the fight, and there's the AWP shot. 2 left, and Jackass is putting up one hell of a final stand, but now it's just Niter.
Yeah, just one man against an army that is Zero Tenacity. A nice dink, but it's not gonna be enough. Zero Tenacity will close out this first map 13-6. A very, very dominant affair. And, you know, maybe we were expecting a bit much with this being Nevermore's map pick. Then again, you know, this is a relatively sort of new squad coming here.
13-5. They beat Sashi 30-8. They beat Into the Breach, rest in peace, 13-10. So it's difficult, and they've got a 70% CT side win. So yeah. I think maybe the saving grace in all of this is that Nevermore starts CT side. And they're going to have to be good here because they have a poor sort of CT side. They have a mid CT side. Zero Tenacity hits that 70% win rate, and I don't think they're going to want to be dipping those stats anytime soon. So it has to start this half.
Absolutely not. No, you're going to be jumping down straight into Pop Dog. No more struggles with the ladders, but you're gonna go in full guns blazing. hodix and Donny, though, good with a solid hold from the back of the site. So far, so good. hodix actually still standing with 2 HP. And immediately the round has been stalled. Very difficult now to try and enter. Look at this, 2 men doing all the work. Alright, never mind. Mov gets a chime in as well there with a lovely kill for himself. Dualies in hand. And with that, Nevermore secure their first round.
Yep, we talked about it. Had to be a good start, and there is no better start than a pistol. However, we saw this happen last map. They've got to be wary because that conversion was stolen away. This time, luckily, no bomb plant, zero tenacity. They're going to be working with pistols. Should be a little bit safer. The running start that we need them to have here. And it looks like they are going ugly early. The aggression straight towards them. And actually, there you go. We want to see them split up a little bit. And they are, Jackass. They're heading up through the tunnels, working and weaving the map. Just trying to see if they can hear anything. Initial contact taken and is one and still walks away. Very limited damage done to him. Now they're all just peeking, popping out, trying to overwhelm him and is called over backup and I'm just going to be here to help. Turns out not even really needed. I say that directly as he gets 2 kills. One through the wall. And now Knights are just sweeping up the back. And that's it. Boom, done, easy. Very nice conversion for them, keeping it clean. No bodies dropped. Zero tenacity, I think they'll be fine with this. Kind of expected. They come into this with the firepower, and they'll be looking to put a stop to this early.
Rifles in hand, which is typically where zero tenacity look the most calculated. Especially the UCL might make a big difference here. But gotta wait and see what their approach is going to be so far. Ooh, dealing really well with that push. A lovely flash to support. And with that, it's raining yellow in the kill feed. Nevermore went quite aggressive here, trying to go for a couple of early peaks. Now we have hodix as well, sitting at upper, doing pretty well to try and get a kill back. But of course, with information obtained, they're gonna go on and burst for A instead. They know exactly where hodix is sitting.
Difficult round here. Throw a Molotov in just for special effect, but unfortunately, nowhere to be seen. Maybe the element of surprise, but they've got to have an idea that he's worked his way round here, and it's going to be a matter of timing. They've just missed each other, and actually looks away at exactly the wrong second. It looked like Lady Luck was on his side up until the bullet was fired. And there we go. We talked about it. That's going to be them trying to put a halt to any early sort of a lead that was wanted by Nevermore. Money's good enough that they can go right back into this, but it's still in this fragile period. You'd want to be hopefully finding a nice round, very clean to keep yourself in the green here. But a timeout called early on. We saw them, Nevermore, they were wanting to use their timeouts often and early. They burnt through them pretty quickly, and that left them maybe a little bit weaker towards what could have been the end over on map number 1. This time, round 4, timeout, discussing how they move forward.
Yeah, pretty early timeout. But if the comms are not quite working, if you think that was a very big slip up, you could have had that round easily. Maybe it is good to talk straight away. Make sure it's not going to happen again. And to fix things as soon as you can. Because for Nevermore there is not a whole lot of wiggle room. And of course with this being double elimination, this is their final shot of staying in the run for IEM Dallas.
Yeah, fought your way through the open qualifiers and I'd say victory's just within taste. But there's still a little bit to go after this. So, and then smoke comes through. Blossoms nicely from above. A little bit of a spam through just to warn anyone on the other side. But actually, not going to do too much to deter them. Nice clear through. Ivy coming on. Nice the support of his teammate from afar. They're shooting through the floor at each other as well. Trying to find any bit of potential damage that they can.
So we're just trying to get in the heads of Nevermore here as well. Scaring them.
It's doing a good job, I think. You can see that moving around a little bit. They've all flooded over towards A, which actually, you know, with our hindsight and x-ray is definitely the right move. And Tenacity switching up the pace a little bit here has got them uncomfortable. But now they have to act upon it. Jackass hiding behind the pillar, jumping out at any second. And this Ivy player needs to find something, and it has to be quick. Finds the first, gets the kill, and his teammates have already done so much on the other side. Doubles down as well. Here's that both are on site. Doesn't even get a chance to run through the smoke to help one out any further. But lovely setup there.
And with that, we go a bit back and forth. 2-2. but Nevermore's bank has run empty, so it looks like Tenacity can build a bit of momentum for themselves as well as Economy, which is already in a pretty solid place now. That is just what 2 rounds can do. Shift things up completely. And, ooh, alright. Nice little rundown. Brute Monster here. Oh my lord. That is nearly 5 kills. Ladder 2. He did do damage too, but it was the chauffeur who stole them away. But nicely done. Good hold. I like the boost up there as well. I'm not sure if that was intentional to hold up for a push, but dealt with it nicely. And, you know, quick eco is always a good eco.
Potentially working off the back of the fact that they know that Nevermore likes to be really, really hyper-aggressive when they don't have the money for weapons, and knowing that losing those 2 rounds probably has put them in a bit of a sore spot, so potentially had seen the writing on the walls there. Alternatively, just luck of the draw with getting that, but beautifully done nonetheless. Jackass moving forward, knows that someone might be here. Unfortunately, Gun Barrel gives away his location. Flashbang as well. So player nearby, gonna double on the flashes. All going out. They round the corner, spraying, and even though there's warning, can't find the kill. But on the other side of the map, doesn't really matter. His team's starting to fall. 3 versus 2, and Knights is looking very wounded here as well, and now has to try find something. Gonna work his way into the back lines, but what can they really do from here other than just pick up this AK and maybe hope somebody's gonna show face? Ooh, might have a little bit of something to work with here. Actually, lovely Molotov. Just so desperate not to go down. Anyone here hiding in the smoke? They've got to know that he's still in there, surely.
Surely. They're all hunting him down. Oh, the nade makes the smoke kind of disappear, but he's stuck around the corner. Gets a bit awkward. Oh, alright, there we go.
Cheeky attempt at the no-scope.
Safe. Yeah. I mean, what do you gotta do?
If you're gonna use the AWP as a shotgun, buy a shotgun, you know? That's a lie, don't do that. That's really, really poor advice. I'm saying that now. Retcon what I said. But the scout coming out from hodix. Actually, the double scout coming out here.
Double scout, yeah.
I'm not sure
so
that this is the change that was needed, but I think a change was needed, so I'll hear them out.
Donnie, first one to fall, so there's 1 scout gone. And Nita as well here, second one to fall. A bit of damage dealt upon Brute Monster, but at the end of the day, the numbers are not lying.
The numbers are like Shakira's hips, they do not lie. Love, this is a difficult position to be in here. Sees the utility coming out, knows that there is limited time left on his clock, but his teammates come on through to save the day, and a lovely headshot makes this a little bit competitive. Unfortunately, fire to the face forces him back and to his death, and now hodix with the scout. They know it's the last left alive, but they're not quite sure where he's at right now, so every corner stinks of peril. And this is a difficult retaking space weapon. The AWP is lined up, and in a battle of the sniper rifles, Brute Monster's winning that one out every day of the week. And 5 in a row for well, not 5 in a row, sorry. 5, no it is, sorry. 5 in a row for Tenacity.
Yeah, we started off with 2 for Nevermore pistol and the conversion, but ever since Tenacity has been on a roll. And again, this is their map. As well as the map that they are honestly maybe the best on at the moment. Clean record, and they are aiming to keep it that way. Now, a lot of util being dumped actually on this A bomb side again. Nevermore stick with the 4 men down on A, but instantly lose a player early on. Again towards the same position in Ivy as well, which is tricky, and a must sting that keeps on happening.
Yeah, they are just losing that fight. At some point, you throw a little bit of utility and you don't keep committing an immediate player disadvantage to it. Because it's not worth the hassle for them right now, going into every single round, basically. With a little bit of a hindrance. A little bit of a liability. Here they are, trying to hold them off. They've done a good job here. They're not really following up the issue, just sticking down on site. And I think that's probably the best bet for them right now. So it's nasty. They are just happy to silently crawl through the back halls. Hodix with the AWP. He's going hunting, he's going looking. No opportunity presenting itself just yet, though. Relying on his teammates to get the trade here. Aim is good for one, spots another, but has to back off, knowing too many angles that the repeat could come from. And gets away safely, just about. Just clearing the smoke.
Just spamming the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You never know where there's a player hiding. Better be safe than sorry.
Especially when you're on stream. You never want to make the silly mistakes when everyone's watching. And now just...
Yeah, no one...
Ooh.
Uh-oh. This is knife potential here.
Okay.
Alright, there we go.
I
Little cheeky knife action.
we had to get it at some point, you know, Nevermore feeding into the chaos there a little bit. I really don't know how that wasn't spotted. It was honestly just perfect lack of the peripheral vision there. Yeah, and we literally were just talking about the one time you don't want it to happen is when it's on stream.
Yeah, very true. But at the end of the day, it's not really gonna hurt the economy of Zero Tenacity at all if they are losing a player. You know, it's a bit embarrassing, but you know they are 6-2 up, so
exactly.
I guess Zero Tenacity is still saying who's the one laughing.
Yeah, as long as you get the final laugh at the end of the day. But that is a nice amount of money for them because you can buy a weapon to drop over to your teammate as well as the AK that you saved. Honestly, really nicely played there. That's the best consolation prize you'll be given. Now they're actually taking the fight a little bit to them here. Zero Tenacity, the aggression this time. They've decided to get up in their personal space. Nevermore was happy to greet them at the door. I say actually as everything just slows down right now. Shots fired off, but nothing connecting. Don't think they expected Neymar to be as close as they were. The AWP zones in at just the right time to take Donnie out. Just coming out. It's a dance around. Niter finds 3 as well. Finally, a trade kill comes in from the other side. It's messy. Finally goes down, but 3 in the round, and that's all that they got. I really, I don't fully know what to suggest here, because honestly, the reads sometimes haven't even been bad from Nevermore. They've been having the players stacked on the right sites at the right times. They're just losing out on these duels. Zero Tenacity's finding these timings just to get a little bit closer than Nevermore expects them to be as well, but the survivability on some of the Nevermore players is to be commended.
Very true, very true. Little spam. Although on the other side there's an AK awaiting.
Pulling through Pop Dog. There are people near enough by to cause an issue.
Getting really close here though. Bit cheeky. Trying to put pressure, and the MP9 does the trick. Nice and personal. Ooh, a lovely second one as well. Switching to absolutely nothing.
That's
but
difficult.
It's fine. It's fine. I guess that's the panic bursting through. 2 on 3. I mean, it's not impossible, especially if they can still manage to pick up a weapon somewhere. But no one died close enough to them just yet. And now, oh, Donnie dies to the fire. Ooh, that's a lovely kill from Mob with a deagle, but it's not going to be enough for the round. Good effort. Good firepower, but it still is Zero Tenacity's half, it seems. 8 already secured, and who would have thought that Train is all of a sudden T-sided?
Yep. Or maybe it's just Zero Tenacity. I mean, there's a lot of teams.
Yeah.
It's been one of the least picked maps. And I think it does need to be taken into account that it is still fairly new and that people are still adjusting and learning to play it. But it's a rough one. AVN straight into the bullets of Jackass, who's going to double down, but unfortunately caught on the reload. Nana's going to find two. Donnie, however, that's the difference maker found. Abrupt Monster has to be really quick here. Does find one. Snappy ready for another that's not quite coming. It's on the other side that they've got some issues. Muv gets one, and now Orb in the clutch situation. Molotov to either force the fight or keep the space. Abrupt Monster, he's got a little pocket to work with here. Up close and personal. Has to be wary, but crawling through the smoke. We talked about them finding these pockets to work with. He has an idea that it might be there. Just in time. And a third round on the board for them, trying to claw back something this half. Yeah, unfortunately, money for the side of Zero Tenacity is really good, so Nevermore, they are not going to be afforded any easier rounds. They are not going to be afforded any ecos that they can build up a little bit of cash on as well. Final round, and it is all guns blazing. Nevermore, this time not 100% sure what to do. Fire at his feet and bullets too. He's not even going to be able to fire that off. So there's nothing to stop the flood that is Zero Tenacity on this site. One kill from Jackass attempts to stem the bleeding, but it's only a temporary fix. And Simka's already chosen to boost his position, get ahead of this defense.
Yeah, that Molotov was actually a bit awkward. Muv not being able to actually spot the feet in order to catch the time to throw his own. And immediately things get a bit tricky, but round's not done just yet. hodix goes up the ladder, hopes for a second kill, not quite granted. And this is awkward. They pass one another. Actually, Donnie goes back. And it looks like, I mean, mate, this is your last round of the half. You kind of gotta go for it. That's one more kill. But, yeah. I mean, just, go for the KD, I guess.
Maybe? Not even that. Not even awarded that. 3-9 at the half is where we're gonna leave it as we head into the break.
Nevermore got a very big battle up ahead of them. Nevermore have let a couple of stakes drop here left and right, but never say never. Kind of is in the name. Trying to fight back here on 0. Tenacity's a map pick. They're up on 9 already. It's a bit of making up to do, but so far their pistol rounds have been pretty solid. Good starts, that's what they're known for. And Mov here as well, grabbing a double kill already, but as I say that, the kill feed is starting to rain blue, and they will finish it as well. Double digits secured. 0 Tenacity is not playing around.
And no bomb plant either, which makes money very difficult. You concede the 11th, 1 away from map point, series point, and ultimately tournament run point for Nevermore there. So it's going to be a difficult one. They've decided to bite the bullet. There's a deagle available on Mov, and actually has been having some snazzy results with these headshots. So a little bit of hope in the dark there. Nade goes deep, but not quite where they're going, as they slip silently through the back rooms.
And there's an MP9 awaiting them. Good for only 1 though, but I guess the M4 does the trick. A lovely mow down from Simka, grabbing that 11.
I understand that they knew that there was 1 each side, but the fact that you know that there is an MP9 around that corner and every single head was looking away, even though you knew how close it was, I was like, oh god, no, nobody's watching. This could be just a straight line of bullets down. But actually, it's the A4 that ends up getting the job done. But yes, eco round, you don't want to put necessarily too much stock in it. You would have liked to see a couple of kills maybe, just to rack up a bit more money for utility in this round. A tactical timeout being called, and we talked about how Nevermore liked to use them early on. Actually chose only to use 1. It was in that right before, was it before the 4th round or the 5th round? But very early. And yeah, it's...
Here we go again.
Difficult one. Using both of them. You might as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, you're running out of time. It's 11-3. Only 2 more and 0 Tenacity is still within the race.
Kick you out of the tournament, yeah. Although it's a difficult one, because if you do start the comeback here, you've then got no padding later down the line.
You gotta do it at some point. If you don't use it now, you probably are not going to use it.
Saving it for a rainy day, and then it turns out it never rains, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, limited util here on a lot of these players might spell a bit of trouble, so I'm hoping maybe we see them go with their signature, just run it straight on down, and then use that utility for the post plant.
Raining flashes here on this A-bomb site. Rim Monster on the hunt for a kill. Heard some footsteps, and there is the kill granted. But still though, it's a 3-on-3 affair. Actually now a player advantage for Nevermore. And they still know, Brute Monster's whereabouts, and they have found him. Now rotation on the way. Good for a second. But this is now a bit awkward. Long range MP9, not quite. Maybe the most viable, hoping to get back to safety with the use of that smoke. Maybe just awaiting the timer.
Honestly, you can reposition yourself here. There's no better weapon that you can pick up, but you've got the Molotov, and you know you've at least bought yourself a little bit of time and the element of surprise here. Because that bomb starts to go down. This is currently Nevermore playing on your clock. Ooh, we're talking about that. There's a fan mask, but do you want to risk the sound cue to pick it up? No, you don't. You hear the footsteps.
Yeah, the timing is going to be everything. He is not going to be spotted, and that is one hell of a clutch coming through from Avon. The mind games coming through in 0 Tenacity. It looks like they are unstoppable. On the brink now of locking themselves in for another round.
Absolutely. It's 9 in a row needed for a comeback to continue their tournament run. And they've not got a whole lot of gas left in the tank to try get this round started. So what happens, who knows? Early nades aren't going to find the damage, and Simka is pushing up close. Dodging the flashes, trying to find something, but everyone's already managed to escape. Brutmaster in the background, though, has managed to find the opening kill. Is the writing on the wall? Is this the omen of the tournament ending here and now? So much space. AVN here. If they can get the pick, they've got themselves a relatively easy fight for this site. Got 2 smokes available for it as well. They have to be careful because anybody trying to push on, they might cotton on pretty quickly that that site, A site, is looking not quite like where the bomb is headed.
Looking for a lovely mowdown, and seems to be working. Zero Tenacity will lock it in with a very dominant victory here. 13-3 over on Train. Their map pick, and it showed. And yet again, that Train streak keeps being alive.
100% over 5 officials now as well. Way to cement